talking about load reduction and load shedding. Is your business being billed correctly for electricity by your local municipality? With over 900 different tariff options, the South African municipal tariff structure for grid-tied electricity is quite complicated, and it's easy for businesses to end up on the wrong one. Because of this, many local businesses are inadvertently paying significantly more in energy tariffs than they rightfully should. But with a forecasted up to 25% increase for the year 2021-2022 financial year from Eskom, you can't afford to be on the wrong side. Let's speak to Ty Teron now, who is the commercial head of Energy Partners Intelligence. Ty, thank you very much for joining us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Bongi, and good afternoon to your listeners.
I'm sorry, I'm just going to pick your brain on this one. I know it might not something that you may want to, but I mean, okay. I was listening to the traffic report, and Rob Byrne is telling us that there will be a load reduction in some parts of Soweto. There is load reduction everywhere, every day. Is that where things are right now? And do we need to accept as South Africans that this is the reality of this country? This is our reality now.
So, yes, the outlook is not particularly positive. It's a bit grim. But I think the one thing that I really want to bring up today is, sure, you have that problem with electricity supply, but there's also another large problem with perhaps what tariff you're on as well. When you are supplied with electricity, you may inadvertently be paying a lot more than you rightfully should just because you're on the wrong tariff structure. So that's actually a different angle that I'm coming in at, but I think it's equally as important to business right now.
How do you make sure that you are on the tariff structure that your business ought to be on and you are billed correctly?
So that's a two-part question. The first part I'll deal with. If you have a look at your utility bill, Bongi, you'll see a bunch of consumption on there in kilowatt hours, in kVA. There will be service charges, and you can identify the tariffs through these unique charges. You can go onto the municipality's website or the brochures, and you can match the tariff to figure out what you're on, or you can contact your Munich or Eskom to figure that out. But whether you know you're on the optimal tariff or not is a different kind of question. So there's a bunch of cost structures that differ slightly. So I could just take a demand tariff and a time of use tariff as an example. The demand tariff, you're going to be charged for the maximum load that you have during the month, even if it's for 10, 15 minutes. You'll be charged for that, and it could equate to 35% of your bill. Or you can be charged on a time of use basis where the charges are changing during the day, depending on the load availability of the grid. So a business needs to understand which one they are well suited to, because the difference, just an example, let's say a large business has an electricity bill of 10 million rand a year. They may be paying 1 to 1.5 million rand more than they rightfully should if they're not on the right tariffs. And that is just paperwork. That's just paperwork. There's no projects involved.
Yeah. So it means then that you need to scrutinize your bill. I mean, I'm one of those people who started very late to scrutinize even my bank statement when I started seeing 80 rands going off my account. So you need to scrutinize your bill and be sure of what you are being billed for. If you are not sure, then what do you do? So
you're right in saying that. There's a lot of municipalities out there right now that are struggling. In most cases, we call them dysfunctional because the billing is not very accurate. Let's take a business that I just mentioned with a 10 million rand bill a year. If the municipality is out by 15% or 20% for a month, you may not even notice it because you're not looking at your meter data, you're not checking what your consumption is, but you get that bill and you pay it. And in many instances, I've seen it with many of our clients, that they are underbilled or overbilled into the millions. And it's a huge risk for business to not be tracking that.
You advise your clients on which tariff structures are most suitable for their businesses, and you argue that a multitude of businesses and cases that you've observed, that you've worked on. You've seen companies decrease their monthly bill by as much as 15%. That is quite big. How do you do it?
So, I mean, if you take a normal energy project, someone will have to put down a couple million rand to get that kind of return for solar or refrigeration or similar. But with a tariff switch, all we actually do as energy partners, we will read your meter data. We understand what type of consumer you are, and we have so much experience with this that we know what the optimal tariff for you is, and we have the contacts with the municipality to be able to action it. It's not quite as simple if you don't have the expertise and the contacts. So I would definitely recommend that you hire a professional to verify it.
And you're doing nothing illegal here. It's just reading and understanding the tariff that people are on, and you advise them. So that I want people to be able to contact you. No one wants to pay more than what they should be for electricity.
Yes, so the message is definitely don't pay short. Definitely pay what you owe. But the onus is on you as the customer to find what your optimal tariff is. So if you open your business, it's going to be allocated a tariff. And whoever purchases that business or moves in is going to inherit that tariff, and they probably won't ever consider it. They'll just pay the bill. But in fact, most of these big businesses have smart meters in them. You can download the data. We go straight to the meter, download the data. We run it through our models, and boom, there's the tariff. We just do the switch. It takes 3 to 5 months and a couple $1,000.
Yeah, I think I'll be, contacting you. But of course, you're working with businesses. What about individual households then?
So this message is more to the industrial off-takers, not really the residential guys, because they have far more complex consumption profiles where I don't want to go into too much detail. It's a bit technical, but there's notified maximum demands, your network access charges. All of these things require optimization and trained eyes.
Yeah, and when you say that I'm working from home, I'm running my business from home, it doesn't make any difference. You would not look at me.
No, you would have to turn off your lights.
Now, Ty, the last thing, now that after scrutinizing my bill and I realized that, I've been paying more, is there a possibility that I could actually go to my municipality and say, listen, for the past 10 years, you've been overcharging me because I was on the wrong tariff?
So there is a period called a prescription period where they may go back as far as 38 months to recover anything that was underbilled, and likewise for you to recover anything that was overbilled. But once you've identified that perhaps there's a billing discrepancy, it's now you and the municipality, and that engagement can be very inefficient at times. And that's why I would definitely recommend hiring someone like Energy Partners who has the contacts. We know exactly who to speak to and exactly what to do.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Ty Teron is the commercial head at Energy Partners Intelligence. You can look them up. They might just save you some few bobs there. This is Beyond the Headline on SAFM 104 to 107.